watching T2T Boxing.
This is Tommy Watt for T2T Boxing and IFL TV in association with Fight Call Out. I'm joined by legendary trainer Teddy Atlas here, who's in for Pacquiao Horn. You're doing some of the commentating for ESPN, is that right?
Yeah, I'm doing the color for ESPN with Joe Tessitore, and we also have Tim Bradley working with us, which is going to be nice to have him with us.
Excellent. That's a commentary team I remember from the old Fight Night games. Back in the day, you and Joey.
The video game.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So a flick back to the old school. So what are your thoughts on Pacquiao Horn?
It should be, I don't know. It's going to be difficult for it to be competitive. I mean, there's such a difference, obviously, in experience, but talent. I mean, it's just, one guy's up here with talent. The other guy depends on a mix of physical ability, more on the strength side and on the trying to hurt your side. He tries to box. I give him credit. You can see the cerebralness where his trainer's got him using his legs to give angles. So he's trying to be as together as he can be in that ring and make himself as smart and difficult to find as possible. But at the end of the day, to a certain extent, you are what you are. He's a little rough around the edges, and he being Horn, obviously, and he's just, even with his strengths, which is to be determined and to try to find a way and to try to land his right hand for the most part, he doesn't match up talent-wise. It's not a close contest. Manny's got so much more ability in the physical area, as we touched on the experience, obviously, and Horn has to make up for it with a mix of his physicality, but also his mindset, where he's got to out-will guys, out-determine guys. It's kind of hard to do that if you got to bank on that, if you got to put all your chips in that basket, and you're in there with a guy who also is pretty good in that area too. It's tough. It's a tough task. I mean, not only is the other guy more experienced, more talented, but he's a determined son of a gun too. So it's not like you're going to tip the boat in your favor in that area.
Yeah, so you prepared fighters to fight Pacquiao in the past. Obviously, you mentioned Tim Bradley there, who shared the ring with Manny twice.
3 times.
3 times, sorry, yeah. And people are saying that Jeff is going to be, it's going to be the strength that gets him through. But Tim is not a small man himself, a small welterweight, and he obviously had the strength over Manny, but still wasn't an easy fight for him. Do you see some similarities in the sort of size differences between Jeff and Pacquiao and Tim and Pacquiao?
Timmy is a more experienced fighter than Jeff. I mean, and a little bit, I think, more together in certain technical areas too. I mean, look, Tim Bradley is one of the few guys that fought Pacquiao competitive. He beat him. I mean, there's only 6 guys that beat him in 67 fights. Timmy beat him, so we can't put Horn in Timmy's class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unless he pulls off a miracle, then we could talk differently on Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely.
But I mean, as far as size goes, look, there's no doubt that Horn is naturally the bigger guy, but there's been a lot of guys in the ring that have been naturally the bigger guy than Manny through his career. Manny started off at 105 pounds. I mean, he's moved up so many weight classes. So, yeah, Horn's the naturally bigger guy. But for me, it always comes down to define, definitive, tangible, real things. Not just talk. Oh, anyone could talk and talk about this and speculate and assume and, go into different scenarios. But it comes down to tangible things. What good is a size advantage if you can't use it? It's got to be usable. It's got to be applicable. You could have the better punch, which he doesn't have, but you could, and you have to have a way of landing it, because the punch alone is just, again, going to be for you guys to talk about up until the moment it doesn't work, and then you go on to your next assignment, and so. Guy could have a power punch, but if he doesn't have a means to transfer it to the target, it means nothing. You need a delivery system. And same thing with strength, size. Yeah, he's a bigger guy, but where's the delivery system? Where's he gonna make that into something that's tangible in the ring? where he can use that size advantage with a guy who is a better puncher, faster, more experienced. It's a very difficult assignment.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot has been made about how big this fight is for Australian boxing, but it's also free to air in America, which is a big, big news in America.
It's on our show. It's on ESPN. Yeah.
So what do you think that would do in America for boxing to have it on free to air? Obviously, you had PBC as well, which has been relatively successful view-wise.
Listen, anytime you put something on network television, in this case it's cable, but ESPN is like network. It's the closest thing to network because everyone has it, and it's so big and so widespread. It goes into 120 million homes. So when you taking something in HBO, as much as it sounds nice to hear HBO, wow, HBO, that sounds pretty interesting. It goes into a million people watching. You're talking about that. I'm not knocking HBO, but let's be real here. You're talking about a million people watching at its best to go into ESPN where it goes into 120 million homes. Big difference. Whole different ball game, different animal. Absolutely. David and Goliath. So anytime you're taking now a fight that's normally only on HBO, normally only on pay-per-view, and you're putting it on ESPN where it's available to 120 million homes, wow, that's good. That's good for the sport. That's good for people that they get access to it, where they don't have to go out there and buy it on pay-per-view. And if it's a good fight, there'll be a residual effect for the sport. It's good for the sport now because nobody can promote like ESPN. They have all the mediums. When they want to promote something, and they haven't always wanted to promote boxing, but right now they're feeling good about it. Yeah. And look, they've been good. Without ESPN, you wouldn't have had Friday night fights for 18, 20 years, where in some ways that was the lifeblood to the regular fan. The regular fan. Not just a fan that's only going to watch the big mega fights, but wants to get their dose of boxing every week. ESPN provided that. And now they're bringing a big fight. And so that, when they want to promote something with ESPN News, regular ESPN, ESPN Deportes, ESPNU, they got so many, ESPN2, they get like 7, 8 platforms. ESPN.com. When they want to get behind something, they can make it big. And they're getting behind this. And the people in the States are ready to see this fight. And they're excited about getting a chance to see Manny Pacquiao in an environment that's exciting to watch. 55,000 people. That's not a normal environment for a fight. You get them, but you don't get them that regular. And you're going to have a chance to watch him with a hometown favorite, a home country favorite, with 55,000 people in a rugby stadium. The atmosphere can become part of the enticement to an event, the largeness of an event. When you have a crowd like that, it makes the event even bigger. When you're watching a college football game and you're watching Michigan against Ohio State and there's 100,000 people in that arena, in that stadium, damn right it makes it, it becomes part of the event. Part of this event will be the crowd, will be the atmosphere, will be the love of the fans, the passion of the fans, believing that their guy, their outback kid, so to speak, has a shot against an iconic fighter. So, and like we started on this, it's just good in the States, it's good everywhere, it's good for the sport of boxing, and it'll be even better if it's a good fight.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just before I let you go, Teddy, a massive fight coming up later this year is Canelo Golovkin. What are your thoughts on that fight? Do you have a pick for that one?
Yeah, I mean, 2-3 years ago, I would have said Golovkin easy, but it's gotten closer, a lot closer. For me, honestly, Golovkin hasn't improved. Canelo's improved. I haven't seen any improvement in Golovkin. Some people are a little harsher than me. I talked to a few yesterday. They said, Teddy, he hasn't improved since he turned pro. I don't know about that. I won't be that harsh, but I haven't seen improvement in Golovkin for the last couple of years. And he's, I mean, I think it's gotten a lot closer now. Canelo's gotten better. I still, 2 years I would have just said, Golovkin too big, too strong for this guy. But now they waited maybe to the right time. We'll find out the results if it was the right time. But they did the right thing. They waited. They didn't kill the goose that lays the golden eggs, because Canelo lays golden eggs, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
And pay-per-view, the great Hispanic audience with the passion behind them. And they didn't kill that. They kept making money. They kept taking those eggs. Give me more, give me more. And they waited, they waited, they waited. They said, okay, now our goose is big enough, strong enough. Maybe we can go now, push all the chips up to the front of the table, and let's go.
Yeah.
And that's what they feel now. Again, I agree with them that the time is, if the time is right, this is the right time. I still, a gun put to my head, I still have to pick Golovkin. Still bigger, stronger, naturally bigger, stronger, but a lot closer. I mean, some people would say, and I was probably one of those people, was one of the first to say, you might say Jacobs exposed Golovkin, might even say Kell Brook exposed him, you know, to a certain extent. You know, how one-dimensional, how easy he was to find. Too easy to find at that, for that level of fighter, where you're not supposed to depend only on your power, only on your chin, only on your fortitude. So, you know, it has gotten much more interesting now. I'm still going to go with Golovkin, but he's getting older. He's been sliding, but it's going to be good for boxing, you know. And boxing might need it after what might be a carnival show with McGregor and Mayweather. If people get burnt on that, and listen, it's your own fault if you get burnt. You put your hand on the stove, you get burnt. Well, you were told, don't put your hand on the stove, but you still did it. You know, you went out there, you want to do what you want to do, and if people get burnt by that fight, they might need this fight to kind of say, hey, I want to see a real something that I can believe that really will be something that resembles a real fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hopefully it will bring that back up after what will be very much a circus, I guess, between Mayweather and McGregor. And not many people are giving McGregor a chance. I'm assuming you're in that boat.
You could assume that. I mean, unless McGregor cheats, which I think is not out of the question, where he might say, the hell with it, I'm just going to build my brand. I'm going to come in low, I'm going to get him by the legs, get him down, ground and pound him, and proclaim myself the king of the universe, you know, even if I get disqualified. Other than that, standing, boxing, come on.
That's it. If a professional boxer can't get near him, it's a very tall ask for anyone else. But thanks a lot for your time, Teddy. Really, really appreciate that. Look forward to hearing your thoughts on the fight on Sunday, and enjoy your time in Australia.
Thank you.
Cheers, Teddy.